Cause I be sparking and rushing mad like inside the dark. Call me Will Snatcher, just a brother for the rapture. I hang live, hold you on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a gauntlet and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my sacred life.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion. And today I want to talk to you guys about the fallout from Boruto Chapter 71. And in particular, I want to talk about what this means for Code. From the moment the spoilers came out, 90% of Code fans were on suicide watch because Code got beaten down in the most vicious way possible. He went from bragging how he feels that he won't lose to anyone to all of a sudden Daemon is punching him so hard he's coughing up blood. Daemon is stepping on his spine faster than Naruto asked for ramen to be served on his wedding day. And this has led to a bunch of fans saying that this has effectively ruined Code as a character. So what we're going to do here is just look at that topic. So has Code's character actually been ruined? So in my honest opinion, I think it's too early to tell. And I think this knee-jerk reaction to say it did is jumping the gun, because this is just one step along the journey of the character. You've got to see how the character evolves, especially now that he's alone and desperate at this point. To say Code is ruined is to say the same thing that people were saying in 2017 when they said they hate Boruto because he's a spoiled brat who never trains, he never faces adversity. And those same people, had they been patient, either read the manga or check what the anime did after the Momoshiki arc, they'd have seen that the character grew and the same issues that they were bitching about actually got addressed. I believe it's the same thing here with Code, and I'm going to explain to you why. So anyone who didn't think Code was going to get a mud hole stomped into him and have it walk dry after he got his limiters taken off, they were drunk off of the hype, because we had clear foreshadowing that this was always going to happen. Let me repeat that. We had clear foreshadowing. This was always going to happen. From the moment that Ada stepped out of her chamber, she's been talking mad disrespectful to Code, from telling him to go ahead and try when he threatened to kill her, to flat out calling him useless and telling him that he knows nothing when Code was talking to her, trying to be her ally in the very same chapter. Betrayal was always coming, and it was just a matter of how it would play out. But Ada's confidence in taking down Code repeatedly was a sign that Code wasn't a threat to her or to Daemon, which brings up the other bit of foreshadowing. Amato stated that he had more than one cyborg with powers that went beyond Jigen, but he never stated they were equal in power. Fans just assumed they were all equal. He merely said their combat powers were beyond that of Jigen, and that they were ordered to be destroyed by Jigen because Jigen saw them as a threat. Sasuke confirmed that Boro's hideout was meant for destroying the cyborg who Jigen ordered to be destroyed, which we know was due to their combat abilities exceeding his own. Fans just assumed that Code was going to be the stronger one. After all, the thought of a child in Daemon, or a woman who says her taijutsu skill is only basic, walking up and bodying Code was something most fans didn't want to consider, but that's exactly what happened. Code got humbled very quickly by Daemon, and he almost got killed. He was humiliated, but the signs were there that Code without his limiters wasn't as untouchable as people kept thinking. Ada directly said, "We siblings will kill you if your limiters are off and I grow tired of you." Daemon was on Code's back and looking at him with a smile when she said that. Daemon, when we first met him, was fast enough that he blitzed Code while Code did have his guard lower. You also have to remember, Daemon was playing around, yet he still managed to blitz him, which is another sign. Code needed this betrayal because he got to see firsthand that this sacred power that he wanted wasn't going to be enough to achieve his goals, which was the whole reason he wanted those limiters off. He's now been betrayed and backed into a corner. People in those situations are the most dangerous because that desperation to survive will cause them to do anything and everything possible to make that happen. Failure is not an option for them, and they have nothing to lose. The only path they have forward is to run right through anyone and everything in front of them. Code right now is in that situation. It's important to understand the emotional ramifications of this and how it opens a chart for the character in the future. Emotionally, he's backed into a wall. The woman who he confessed his love to rejected him, and he suffered heavy emotional damage.
Emotional damage!
His brother almost killed him, and she did nothing to lift a finger to stop it from happening. The scientist who he wanted to kill was now an ally to Ada and is going to bring her to Konoha to be with Kawaki. That last point is a huge rage moment for him because all his issues stem from Kawaki. They both underwent the same ritual to get karma, but Code's body rejected the full karma transfer, and he was only left with the white karma that possessed no Sasuke genetics. Despite all of his admiration for Jigen, the vessel of Ishiki whose karma transformed him into a full-blooded Otsutsuki, Code could never be of use like the one that he admired in Jigen. No matter how much he worshipped Ishiki, an actual Otsutsuki, he could never become an Otsutsuki. As Amato said in the manga, for as strongly as Code felt about Jigen, he felt even more strongly about Ishiki, which is why not being able to be his vessel drove him crazy. Meanwhile, you have Kawaki, the boy who never wanted anything to do with karma and hated the idea of being a vessel for the Otsutsuki. Kawaki doesn't worship the Otsutsuki like Code. He hates them and everything about them. In Code's eyes, he's unworthy of the privilege given to him and is disrespectful by not accepting what fate had given him. It led Code as a child to attacking Kawaki more than once out of rageful jealousy, which we saw in Kawaki's flashback when he was on the table and Amato was operating on him in the manga. Now, once again, Code is faced with that prospect that something that he wants so deeply, which is the love of Ada, is something he can't possess because it already belongs to Kawaki. It all goes back to Kawaki. For Code, the only thing that hurts more than being passed up for being an Otsutsuki vessel is Ada's love for Kawaki. Code's departing words to Ada were that he would one day become an Otsutsuki in reference to Ishiki's desire to have him eat a chakra fruit and upgrade his body. But when that time came, Code wasn't sure if he would love Ada or kill Ada once he became an Otsutsuki. That stands out because it's a peek into his jealousy that is still driving his character. Kawaki is an Otsutsuki. He can be used as a vessel, something that Code was never able to achieve due to the status of his body rejecting the karma transfer. Kawaki is an Otsutsuki, which means that he can love Ada and he can give Ada the love that she so desires. Code, as Ada said, might very well have real love for her, but she will never know if it's true due to how her ability of enchantment works. His goal to become an Otsutsuki, it all goes back to Kawaki and his jealousy. Kawaki, who killed the Otsutsuki who he worshipped. So much of what Code desires has a connection to Kawaki. Code is at an inflection point right now, much like Shigaraki from My Hero Academia. At this point, he's either going to take that rage and jealousy and betrayal and come back in utter menace, or he's going to be dusted off pretty easily like a pawn in a chess game, sacrificed for the good of a much larger play on the board. Personally, I stand by the idea that Code's been trolled from the sexual innuendos that Kishimoto has subjected him to, from Daemon riding on his back and saying that he has no stamina, which led to Code looking quickly over at Ada, embarrassed as if to say that isn't true. The innuendo being that Code has no stamina and couldn't last in the bedroom with Ada, riding on top of him like Daemon was riding on top of him, to Amato's words in this latest chapter, having the deranged kanji implying that Ada wouldn't sleep with him because it messes up her chance to be with Kawaki. He's being trolled, but now he's taking enough L's that he would be desperate enough to do something stupid as release the Tentos in the future as his trump card. Where Code goes from here, it's going to be very fun to see. Does he seek becoming Otsutsuki to carry out Ishiki's will, or does he do so because being an Otsutsuki would give him Ada's heart, or does he do so purely to gain the power to destroy those who have wronged him? What lines will he cross to do so? It's going to be interesting to see where Code goes from here, but I'm very curious to see how you guys feel about Code. Is he in danger of being wasted? But while you think that over, consider watching these other videos you see on the screen right now.